Hello, it's Kane. Back once again. Finally. I know it's been a long time, guys, and I apologize for that. I had university started again for me. I had a lot going on, and Waking the Tiger kind of kicked the joy of playing this game out of me for a little while. But I'm back, and I've got something super special for you today. It's a multiplayer analysis video of a Discord versus Discord grudge match. We had Pentax's server, the Paradox Forum Warriors, going up against Beethoven's server, led by Bato. Two well-regarded servers, although in my opinion, of course, Beethoven's is on another level. I played along with KLS on Beethoven's server, along with Bato, our friends Bato on Prussian Prince. And Pentax's server were on the Axis on Germany. And I'll go through the players quickly. We had KLS with Horizon on UK, Bato and Prussian Prince on France, Stukov and Cake on United States, Galip on China, and then Soviet Union, along with Mitch. And on the Axis team, we had ADD and Pentax on Germany, Konfu on Italy, and Heiser Chile on Japan, and Baby Derps on Manchuria. Sorry, Manchukuo. Alright, there was a bunch of other players if I've forgotten who you are. Mitch on Spain, Zarek on Australia. I was playing South Africa. I forget the player on Raj, I apologize. And we had a bunch of other players, auxiliary players on Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and we had Mike on Ireland. Alright, now that I've gone through that, this obviously ended in an Allied victory, so Bato's server was victorious, and we'll get into why in just a second. We'll get into it right now. So, this game, the Allies went with an interesting strategy of pretty much a partial France hold that turned into a full France hold. They had all the Allied miners, so Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, building planes to try and supplement the plane production. Obviously, Canada was the air controller. Very good job, by the way, the Canada air controller. High quality. Oh, sorry, before I forget, oh my god, Henry Burke, the Good Turk, was on Hungary. He was the air controller for the Axis. I think he was the Axis's MVP by far. SS La was on Bulgaria. He was terrific as well, and I forget who was Romania. All right. Yeah, let's get into exactly what happened here. So, Allies went with a strategy that's alien to Pentax's server for the Paradox Forum Warriors. Basically, UK built a lot more heavy tanks than I think they'd have ever experienced. France built light tanks, and all the Allied miners built fighters to supplement the fighter production. Even with all the Allied miners supplementing the fighter production, the Axis still won the air war, although for the first year of the campaign in France, it was almost a year, it was pretty dicey. Sometimes it flickered orange, yellow for the Axis. So we'll get into exactly what transpired. Basically, the Germans were caught unawares by Bato and Prussian Prince playing France, who immediately assaulted into Moselland here, right, in the opening stages of the war, took the 2,000 airfield here, and pretty much never gave this province back. That's really bad for Germany to lose this while they're attacking Poland, right? They're really bad because they lost this, they lost the 2,000 airport, and yeah, that was rough from the start. They were never able to take this back. Went back and forth a little bit, but for most of the game, Moselland was Allied, and you can tell why. This river terrain here makes it really tough. The Axis attacked through Belgium, Netherlands. They got here, and this was looking pretty good for them, but their first assault into the Low Countries went all the hell terrible when Bato unleashed about 5 light tanks from Luxembourg and pushed his way up here. And what our air controller did was flick the planes from the Low Countries here, so the air zone, the Low Countries here to the Benelux region. And for that second, the light tanks smashed through. And along with a naval landing from the UK at Ghent and then pushing up here, and meant that 2 German medium tanks died here in the opening moves of the war, which was absolutely devastating for the Axis. I'll show you the template for the light tanks. This goes to the heart of the different philosophies. You guys probably have never seen a light tank, quote unquote, like this. So it's basically a motorized division, but with anti-tank and SPGs. So very high soft attack, lowish breakthrough, good organization for a doctrine like superior firepower, like really strong organization. And so this tears, the problem is, and this tears through German infantry. So you have to remember what the German infantry in this current meta are, okay? Like, this is the average German infantry template, okay? When this gets hit by that kind of a light tank, it's going to just immediately collapse if it doesn't have cast support. So, yeah, the Germans as well only had, I think, 3 to 4 tanks when they went into France. The Allies had heavy tanks, light tanks, way more. Now, the Axis division tanks were better tanks, but they had fewer of them, so that gives you less options on the battlefield. You can have 2 attacks assaulting here, or what are you going to do against 5 light tanks assaulting up here? Can you really hold off 5 light tanks with 1 medium tank? I mean, you can't, because there are too many provinces, right? So if the light tanks, I don't actually think it was 5, I think maybe it was 4 light tanks, I don't know. It was a lot of light tanks, and they burst through here. You can't, if you have 2 light tanks, 2 German medium tanks here, and 1 medium tank, I don't think the medium tank even was here. It was completely unexpected thrust towards Antwerp. So let's say, let's imagine, for example, you did have that here in the lurk here. I mean, you can't out-micro 5 tanks. I don't care. Like, it's too difficult. It's too hard, right? So it gave the Allied players this odd tank division you've probably never seen before. Okay. It's very incredibly cheap, so it gives more of them. It gives the Allied players more options. So after losing these 2 German medium tanks, it was really tough for the Axis at that point. They got air supremacy, and that's great and all, but if you don't have the tanks to push, and they kept losing tanks, I have to say, I saw some, after watching the Twitch VOD again, there was some pretty low quality plays happening here in France, like snaking in France against a high quality opposition. Like, never do it. I mean, there's too many plains provinces. Look, I mean, I know some of it's forest here, but look, plains. I know there's river lines, but plains. There's too many places to just get wrecked if you snake. If you start snaking against light tanks, you're just going to get cut off, and it's going to end bad. So that was pretty bad. Though, I mean, in fairness to the Axis, they were versing people very, very high skill level. KLS, Horizon UK, Bado, Prussian Prince France. Pretty rough. At one point, just to pit, Italy tried to relieve the pressure on its German player by attacking here in the mountains. What KLS did, I'll show you the UK players' templates. What KLS did, which was really, this is their heavy tank, really quickly. So lots of motorized heavy tank, SPAA and SPG. So really strong soft attack, high armor, just super strong, and lots of decent org for superior firepower and really high HP. So this tank was devastating to the German mediums. It could defend against German mediums. That's the important part here. It could defend against German mediums. Anyway, just quickly, what happened over here? And they also had light tanks as well, so the same thing, light tank, quote unquote, motorized SPGs, really. Now, what happened, Confu was attacking her across the mountains, okay, into weak Allied divisions, but the terrain is really bad to attack. Now, it goes the other way as well. It's really bad to counterattack into mountains, but what KLS did was he timed the counterattack, the English counterattack with light tanks, to the point where Confu was at his weakest. So he was attacking across the mountains, de-orging himself, and, you know, winning the battle maybe, but de-orging himself, okay? And when his organization was at its lowest point, that's when KLS unleashed the light tank counterattack and just encircled a bunch of Italian divisions and really, yeah, knocked the heart out of Italy and never gave up this land here. At one point, Spain tried the same thing. So Spain tried to attack up here, but it's terrible terrain, right? And Spain had 2 heavy tanks, this is the worst terrain ever. The same thing happened. KLS just waited for Spain to de-org himself and then just counterattacked. And then, yeah, it didn't go well for Spain. Eventually, at one point, with the air supremacy, the Germany was able to get deep into France, but France never surrendered, and we just brought what planes we had back from Asia to France, and by that point, like the Soviet Union could enter the war and won. In the East, Japan lost the first naval engagement with America, got annihilated, I think, like pretty conclusively. The Allies were holding Malaya pretty simply, and then all the planes basically had to go back to France. The Allies were horrifically short on planes constantly. I had a South African tank here as well. We were fighting hard for this, but it just, yeah, under red air, we fell back slowly and then rapidly. At one point, we encircled Japanese divisions here, but it was so difficult under red air. My tanks had no SPAA, so it was just painful. So we gave up. I lost the tank and we gave up, but at this point, we still actually held on to Singapore. Raj was fine. It looks kind of bad, but we were pretty confident, actually. This Raj player was competent, very competent, and I mean, we would, yeah, he meat-walled Japan pretty successfully. I had a tank here as well. All right, so I'll go through some of the templates. I'll just quickly show some of the templates of Germany. So let's try and have a look at the tank division, the medium tank division. So let's cast a critical eye over the events here. So this tank division you can see here is critically deficient in the fact that it has 4 SPAA here instead of 2. You don't need 4. Look, its air attack is 128. I mean, did he upgrade his anti-air? No. Yeah, that's critically wrong. You must upgrade your anti-air. You must upgrade your anti-air. You must get Army XP from Spain, fighting in Spain. Upgrade your medium SPAA so you don't have to have 4 SPAA in your divisions. 2 is all you need with upgraded air attack, upgraded attack. Now, again, the Axis puts so much into air, so if you are confident you're going to put that much into air, you should know you're going to win the air war. So why have 4 SPAA? These could have been TDs, man. 1 TD as well. I mean, like, they could have all been TDs, and suddenly, I mean, not all, I mean, I wouldn't put all of them, but, you know, maybe 3 could have all been TDs, right? And suddenly the UK heavy tanks that gave the Axis such cancer here in this terrain, you know, might not have been so scary. So, yeah, a big mistake here. I don't know. This is which is a sad thing to say. Like, you still see macro errors like this a lot in games, and so, yeah, this was bad. It's got to change. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this. The other motorized medium mix was good. Otherwise, upgraded gun, that's fine. This is an interesting thing. They should have actually put 1 into armor. Crazy, right? Not many people, you wouldn't, this is generally against everything. You never upgrade armor or medium tanks, generally. But looking and seeing that if they, a really inquisitive look at France would have seen that they were going anti-tank, and America was getting anti-tank and lend-leasing it to, was researching anti-tank, and you could, I mean, if you were super inquisitive on that, and you're going to Sherlock Holmes on that, you could probably predict what they were trying to do, the Allies were trying to do, trying to get light tank divisions that could pierce German mediums. So to stop that, maybe you just needed to put, the German player just needed to put 1 into armor, and that would have prevented that. Guns 2 and artillery 2 as Germany, I don't ever see it. I mean, why upgrade? I mean, if you're going to have 1 factory on guns, like, why would you ever go to guns 2? I don't understand. It's just a waste of research. Not enough motorized, not enough factories on motorized. CAS 1 instead of CAS 2. Yeah, I don't understand. I was highly critical of them after the game as why they didn't build CAS 2 as Germany. Lots on fighters, lots on tanks. They weren't getting the tungsten, so the efficiency was really low, but there's nothing they could, that's not exactly their fault, I suppose. So apart from the macro mistakes, what else could the Axis have done differently to win this game? So I saw a lot, just the Axis players were attacking this tile here, Lille, which was, KLS had 2 UK heavy tanks on it, right? I mean, don't ever attack heavy tanks on city tiles with medium tanks or any tanks. I mean, just don't do it. Don't do it. All right. He was losing hundreds of medium tanks in the combat here. You're not gonna push 2 heavy tanks like not like these, okay? You're not gonna push this template. All right. You're not gonna push this template. Look at all the motorized with this much HP and organization. You're not going to push this off a freaking urban tile with mediums. Like, it's absolutely not. And if you are pushing it, it's probably not worth it. Like, you're suffering so many casualties as not to be worth it. Okay. Now, you might say, well, that's all very well and good to criticize them for attacking that tile, but you know, what would I have done differently? Well, I mean, the province beside it, next to it, all around it, these provinces are all plains. Attack those, okay? Attack those. This province is rough terrain here. You can use this as a launching point to attack these ones. So, KLS is one of the best players you'll ever find. So he's smart, all right? He's going to sit his heavy tanks here. And as soon as your medium tanks take this province, all right, he's going to counter you here with his heavy tank, all right? Because you want your tanks to be attacking enemy tanks on planes. Because tanks are bad at defense, good at attack, all right? Except for those UK tanks, which can defend as well as attack because of how high the motorized count is, okay? So you would want to try and lure him into attacking. You want to try and lure KLS into attacking these provinces here, all right? And use the rough terrain here as your counterattack location. Maybe see if you can... Alright, maybe see if you can draw him up here. I know it's risky, but try and draw KLS into whoever you're fighting, into an attack up here, and then from the rough terrain up north and from here, you can encircle him. That's what I would do. I try to do, at least. I mean, KLS isn't stupid, and if you're playing someone at that high level, you know, chances are he's not going to be caught into it. But the least you can do is to try and cat and mouse it, right? You know, be smart, try and be quicker, okay? Attack him when he's in Plains provinces, draw him out of the city onto Plains tiles and attack them there, okay? Attack here, draw him to attacking you, then maybe you go round, I don't know. But don't attack a city tile with medium tanks when the city tile has heavy tanks, all right? Don't do that. Other problems on the Axis, they seem to go hard into tack bombers, okay? Really hard. So Bulgaria built... lots of tack bombers. I don't know what this recent obsession with tack bombers is, but everyone seems to be booting these days. They're not good, okay? I guess the idea is you can bomb enemy airports with them, right? It's kind of like the weaker version of strap bombers, and strap bombers are so broken that they're banned everywhere. And you can bomb the enemy airfields with tack bombers, then you can get air supremacy. But I mean, yeah, and I think that would work against players of a lower skill level. Even me, it probably works against me. I hate microing air when my air bases are getting bombed. It gives me cancer. I'm just not very good at air microing. I hate it. I hate it, all right? But against players of this level, the Canada player was super good. Like, high level. He seemed to have no issue with it. He didn't even complain about it. So... I mean, that tells you that whole strategy, all these factories on tack bombers, was a freaking waste. Should have been building CAS. Should have been building CAS 2 for Germany. CAS 2. And considering how strong the Axis won the air war, had they built way more CAS and CAS 2, specifically CAS 2, because CAS 2 is so freaking good, right? I don't care how good KLS is at microing his tanks on this freaking stupid city tile, alright? CAS 2 elsewhere and everywhere else is going to annihilate him. Maybe not on the city, but everywhere else it's going to be brutal. I don't understand why the Axis were obsessed with these tack bombers. Fuck tack bombers. Like, build CAS. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Those are some of the things I would have done differently. I'll show you Hungary, for example. So Hungary at this point is building, tack bomber 2s. Why? Just build CAS. Like, they got CAS 2, right? 24 factories could have been on CAS. Like, at this point, like, from 1939 onwards, like, the tack bombers were doing nothing. Like, just build CAS. Man, it would have been so much stronger for Germany to have CAS 2. Like, what's his air force made up of? I mean, so fighters, lots of fighters from Italy, 1,000 tack bombers and 600. I mean, if these were all CAS 2, like, or CAS... Man, look at it. There's 1,000 tack 2s. If they're all CAS 2, oof. I don't care how good Bad Air Prussian Prince and KLS and Horizon are. I mean, it's difficult to micro against CAS 2, although not impossible. One of the other things KLS was doing, and I think Prussian Prince was doing as well, was they were timing the battle. So CAS only entered the battle after 12 hours. So what KLS would do was he would start the battle, keep an eye on the clock. Once it hit 8 hours, you'd spam H, the battle would stop. Once it got to like 11 hours, you'd spam H, the tanks would stop, battle would end. He's already done a bunch of damage, okay, started to deorg them, done damage. He then, before the German infantry or German units could reorg, okay, would attack again. Suddenly it's a new battle, and the CAS take another 11 hours to enter combat. Alright? So yeah, on the offense, when you're attacking, okay, you can actually kind of out micro cast. It's very high level. Very high level. I don't do it. Man, like watching the clock at the same time. I mean, you can do it though on a small front like this. If you've got 6 tank divisions, you could do it, right? It's not out of possibility. Okay, you could learn how to do it. You could practice it. Definitely, you could do it. And if you're versing cast 2, you bloody better want to do it, right? But if you're on the other going the other way, if you've got a KLS who's trolling you like with that kind of crazy level of micro, its game's not up. You can attack, right? Like, yeah, okay, let him do this pussy freaking, well, not, but let him do this freaking frustrating, spamming H every 11 hours. But you can attack in other provinces, all right? And you can keep the battle lasting long, all right? I mean, what's he going to do? Retreat from the province every... Yeah, it's not going to work, all right? So Cast 2 is incredibly powerful. Should have been utilized in this battle more. I mean, with Cast 2, I swear you could probably battle plan your way through this with enough Cast 2. And people say, like, we'll get into more of that later. I'll show you the build for... Italy, Confer on Italy. So lots of fighters winning the Axis the Air War. Super good weapon. Yeah, reliability, range, engine, 2 weapons. Super strong. Building CAS 1 as well. It's fine. Still giving CAS 1 to Germany. That's fine. Improved anti-tank, sure, I guess. And infantry equipment. He really just nuked himself to produce as many freaking fighters, which is I guess what you got to do for the Axis. I'll show you Africa. We held Africa. We couldn't push here because all the airplanes were in France. But at one point we did get pushed by Spanish tanks, but we just came back. Here's my South African tank. What are you doing in HOI4? Yeah. What else? I'll show you my template because this is the way I do heavy tanks. I'll show you my template. So 10-10 South Africa, because you don't have the production to do a 15 to do even a 7 motorized rest heavy tanks, but you do for heavy tanks. You do for a division template like this. And the best thing is you can make heavy tank 1s from the start of the game, and then as later on, I didn't get to do it, but you can then convert them to heavy tank 2 variants, like SPAA or SPGs or TDs. Okay, you can then convert the heavy tanks you made at the start of the game to variants, so you're not wasted any production. It's actually really strong, and you just get the UK to lend lease you equipment. Not that it mattered, but I'll show you the Soviet Union because the Soviet Union templates are kind of cool. The Soviets just walked in at this point at the end of the game to close it off. So building 30 tanks, Jesus Christ. So this was the heavy tank division, so 9 motorized. Like that's probably haven't seen that, but it's interesting. It gets you lots of organization, stupid amounts of HP, and your soft attack is already super high because you've got heavy tanks and you've got heavy SPGs. So the only thing is this is a kind of a trade-off. So if this high motorized, you'll find yourself getting pierced by by a Germany that knows what he's doing. And that means going heavy. This kind of some would argue this defeats the purpose of going heavy tanks, because if you can't be pierced, if you're getting pierced by German mediums, what's the point of going heavy tanks? Because heavies are worse than mediums, pretty much. They cost more, they're slower. Like, why are they, they kind of have bigger stats, but the hell that. Like, they're slower. You just get out microed so much more easily. It's so much more easy to find yourself getting encircled. So, if you look at the game from a perspective of, mediums are generally, for most part, better than heavies. The one thing heavies can do is you can build them so that you never get pierced, and then suddenly they're really dangerous to German mediums. They're really, really dangerous, or anyone's mediums. But if you go 9 motorized, then you're kind of really rolling the dice on that one about whether the German player picks up on it and can pierce you. Because if he can pierce you, it kind of renders the whole heavy tank thing pointless. But if he doesn't pierce you and you go 9 motorized, then you're in the money because your tanks are really cheap, even though they're heavies and they've got awesome stats. So yeah, he rolled the dice. Let's have a look. Could Germany pierce these tanks? 82 armor. Let's have a look at the German. Let's have a look at the German tank template. Yeah, they could. They could pierce it, but I mean, and that was even with this autistic tank division template. So I don't know. You could say not that's perfect world stats, but chances are Germany, yeah, you could. Most Germanys are going to pierce this tank template, so I'm not sure why you'd. I don't know. It's debatable, at least. It's debatable whether you go 7 or 9 motorized, but either way, this worked. This works at a lot of games that Battle server plays in, so they do it. Let's have a look. Standard infantry and 346 20 width with just artillery. So just an absolute org wall of 20 width divisions. And yeah, this is pretty much the meta, I guess, nowadays in vanilla. This kind of infantry division, absolute cancer, and of course superior firepower, which is also the meta, unfortunately. So pretty much everyone wants superior firepower. So Germany obviously goes superior firepower now, cancer meta instead of the historical blitzkrieg. UK goes superior firepower. I guess they always used to go superior firepower a lot of the time, but yeah, superior firepower. That's basically because of the soft attack nerfs. To have enough soft attack, the general idea is to actually properly push org walls, you have to go soft attack, or at least that's the general consensus. I'll show you USA. So he was producing, yeah, carrier fighter, absolute metric ton of carrier fighter 2s. Producing medium tanks now, like that's a lot of medium tanks. Fighter 2s, 71. What's the variant? Yep, that's fine. Guns and carrier 3s. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Carrier 3s and carrier fighter 2s. Let's have a look at Japan. So lots of guns, light SPGs, and motorized. This is kind of the way that so I'll give you some background of what happened in the Japan-China war, because that was kind of interesting. Galip on China looked like at the start of the game, looked like he was doing incredibly well. He held Shanghai and killed about 10, 15 Japanese divisions that landed out here. I think they landed around here, and Galip actually held these provinces and held the ports. It's not that hard, I guess. You just last stand. Maybe it is hard. I don't know. I never played China. So he last standed on the ports and just everything, and then counterattacked, then all the Japanese divisions died. So that was pretty massive loss for Japan. But Japan, I think he used the motorized SPG template at some point. I think, yeah, this. And this just cuts through China, right? This makes it, they're so quick, makes it really hard to deal with. So, yeah. China fell to that template, which is apparently what it always does. But I mean, it's a lot of production. If you make Japan do this, this division outside of China is pretty much pointless. Like, where are you going to use this outside of killing China? Like, good luck pushing the Leo with that, boys, or the Raj. Have fun. So, yeah, but I guess at least that dealt with Galip's China, and he was able to then consolidate. What was his Let's have a look at his carriers. What was he building? Yeah, so base strike, didn't get to carrier organize. I'd be critical of this, but I don't know the meta for vanilla navy very much. I don't play naval countries in vanilla a lot anymore. I'd say you'd want this carrier organization. Why wouldn't you? You don't want your carriers being deorged. Battleship organization and capital ship armor is incredibly important, because I'm pretty sure he was building super heavy. No. All right, I don't know. Did he build anything? What did he build? Carrier 3s. Yeah, he built carrier 3s. Did he have the deck space upgraded? I'm sure he did. No? Maybe he got them late. How many of them did he have? 6. He had carrier. He had 2 carrier 3s. Upgrade the deck space? Question mark? I don't know. I would always it's just such an important thing to upgrade the deck space. I don't know why you wouldn't. Maybe, I don't know. If you could tell me why you wouldn't, or maybe you don't have time. It's been so long since I played vanilla Navy, and I'd never played Japan. But I would want to upgrade my deck space first. Like, absolutely upgrade my deck space. It's really important. And I would generally say complete your doctrine. Let's have a look. What doctrine did USA go? Same thing. Same thing, yeah. Base strike. Alright, he's the same. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm the retard. I don't know. Yeah, how many... Did he upgrade the deck space? USA has way less. Yeah, so he did. What naval experience he had when the war starts, I guess he spent it on upgrading the deck space. So even once. So yeah, I would suggest that you do upgrade the deck space. Yeah. So it's just a confusing situation there. Now he had, yeah, Mitsubishi agility focused aircraft fighter, carrier fighters, agility plus 20%, like super strong. And he was producing an absolute metric fuck ton. And those would have been his. He would have used carrier fighter 2s as his standard fighter 2s as well. There's been 20 factories on attack bombers. Attack bombers as Japan kind of makes sense because you want to destroy the forts and whatnot, and then maybe bomb the air level here to try and make it easier for yourself to take Singapore. But in the end, we didn't really contest the air over Singapore. We just couldn't, so we should have taken that rather easily. Alright, I'll show you Italy. No, show you Italy. Yeah, it was a good game. Lots of fun. I think Axis MVP was definitely Henry Burke on Hungary. He did his best. To give the Axis good trades. He wasn't quick enough to save the Germans here, but I mean, like, how could you be, right? You'd have to be so, like, by the time he was flicking the air zone back here, you know, to save the German tanks, I mean, Bato was already here. And I don't care, I mean, how much air power you have. These German infantry are going to get wrecked by the French light tank, motorized SPG, whatever you want to call them. So this was the first game in what is supposed to be a best of 3. It was an Allied victory. We're going to play Axis next time, and I'll let you know how that goes. Thank you very much for watching this one. I'll hope to be making more videos in the future. I mean, my opinion on Waking the Tiger is that it's pretty much entirely horrific for the game. Terrible update, and I don't play vanilla. I play mods that try and fix it. Every now and again, I guess I play the odd vanilla game. It's kind of fun. And this was the Paradox Pentax's mod, which basically is vanilla light. It just improves a couple of things and definitely improves the performance a lot. I can't actually stomach straight up vanilla because the games take 9 hours these days. I don't have 9 hours. Well, sometimes I do, but I refuse at this point to spend 9 hours of my life playing one HOI4 game. Like, oh, it's too much. So I have been playing the game. I played it a lot more recently, so I hope to be making some more videos for you. I will make vanilla guides again. I'll make some guides because the meta has changed a lot. Superior firepower, I mean, and for the worse, unfortunately. But I'll make some guides, and I'll do some micro guides, like stuff like don't ever attack a frickin' city tile that's garrisoned by heavy tanks with medium tank. You know, outside of just yelling that, I'll do give you some micro tips later on. Thanks for watching this one, guys. I'll see you soon. Hopefully, I know I said that 6 months ago. I promise I'll see you again soon. Before I go, I'd just like to say thank you for all the nice comments. I logged back into the YouTube channel for the first time in ages today or the other day, and I got so many nice comments, and thank you for all the messages I got on Discord. People I've never met before telling me, hey man, you really helped me. I watched your Germany guide like a bunch of times, it really made me a better player, or I watched your such and such video. I mean, I need to update all of them because they're all out of date. So, but everyone who's messaged me nice things and said thank you for helping me, you made me a better player. I mean, that's why I did it. It's why I did it. I wanted people to become better. So thank you very much. I really appreciate all the nice things you ever said to me. It's really good, and I hope to make more videos for you soon. And I'll see you next time.